Hello students. Today we will discuss the critical comments on Philip Larkin's poem Toads. Here we have a well-argued poem about the external need to work and the inner urge to work. The external need to work arises from one's desire to preserve one's life, but one's conscience also urges one to work. The poet would like to lead an ideal life and to enjoy his leisure, but he cannot adopt this course of life because work brings money and because money is essential for living. Still, he would like to follow the example of many people who do not perform any kind of labor and who yet manage to preserve their lives. But then there is another consideration. Inside the poet dwells another urge, that is the urge to work. His conscience would not let him rest if he were not to do any work. Thus, we have in this poem a balancing of the arguments in favor of life, of leisure and idleness, and the arguments in favor of work and toil. This poem is autobiographical because Larkin had to work very hard as a university librarian, and he often used to experience moods of depression on account of a heavy burden of his official duties. At the same time, he knew that he could not live as an idler or as a parasite. His conscience urged him to continue working. Janice Rosen says that this poem is concerned with the relationship between the burden of work itself and the something efficiently toad-like which lurks in the poet himself, both of which seem to join together to reduce him to passivity. Being unable to assign blame definitely to either source, the poet remains hemmed in by both inner compulsion and by outer necessity. The poem is a complaint against something which displeases the poet, but it does not attack the source of his difficulty. Although the poem begins by challenging the necessity of submitting to the immediate source of his displeasure, the poet never directly answers his own question. So, why should I let the work toad squat on my life? That is the question.